Yeah, man, it's the 10th of February, and in this video, I want to talk about, it's 2023, I want to talk about um, governments and what they expect people like us to do that are victims of remote neural monitoring, broadcast, torture. So, I've been doing videos about this for probably 6 years, public on YouTube. Before that, I was on another platform and just talking. And I've been going through this for about 10 years, and it didn't get bad until maybe a little bit in 14, and then became full time like late 15. And prior to that, it was just kind of a sporadic thing where I would deal with broadcast circumstances, including artificial telepathy broadcast and broadcast physical attacks. And at the time, I had no idea what was going on. I really didn't. I had never heard of gangs talking. I had never heard of remote neural monitoring. And all I knew for sure is some really strange things were happening. And there was some sketchy people in my life. And at the time, and everything that I had was hacked, like completely hacked and administrated. And but they weren't, at the time, they weren't doing things that were so obvious. I could just figure out that some things were going on by digging around in my in source code and console logs and different things. And I didn't quite understand it, but I was definitely finding some things that were obviously sketchy all the way back to 2013. And that's about the time when some circumstances in my life changed, and the people who I was involved with changed, and I knew some people that ended up getting neural monitoring and basically becoming gang stalkers. And it got real bad after that. And since late 2015, it's been 100% of the time, full time. And for the first couple years, it really destroys your life. So I spent probably 3 years of being destroyed and trying to come to grips with this whole situation, that people could know what I'm thinking and that people could be on mind control, controlling broadcast and physically attacking other people. And then I'll say maybe mid 2018, really before that, but I started to contact the police and try to do things about this with police. And it was a situation where I didn't really, I mean, I did have a decent understanding of it, but it's very hard to explain. And if you follow my channel, you know, over the years, I've become very proficient at explaining to people, especially even people that don't understand. A lot of people hit me up and say, you know, I was showing somebody your videos, you know, so wanted to see something or whatever. So, but around like 2020, maybe, I started to get more serious and more able to explain it, and I started to file more official type reports with police, and a lot of official slash unofficial. It's very hard to get to be able to report directly to the FBI. It's difficult to do that, and I've had the police actually, or I've had the FBI and the GBI, that's the federal police base. I think it's like it's like a federal police in the state of Georgia. Also the Georgia State Police and the local police in my county, in my city, where I reside. So probably maybe grand total with all the different agencies and everything, I've probably made close to 50 reports, at least 40, because somewhere around there, because I know I've made about 25 to my local departments, and then several to the FBI, and several to other agencies that are federal level. So I was told by some of the lower levels that you can't really just get to the FBI like that unless you're referred. So I've also tried to contact the CIA, and I've made the reports that you're able to just make as a regular citizen to those type of agencies. And the big question is, are the governments of the world, or the United States government, in my case, are they going to allow this to go on? Are they going to make us fight a war on our own? Because if these people that have neural monitoring that decide that they want to use it to hurt people and wage war against people, and then the police or the government won't do anything about it, then at some point, do we not have to wage war for ourselves to defend ourselves? At some point, do we not have to take matters into our own hands? And I've refrained from doing that. And a lot of people come onto my comments and say, you should go after them and do this and do that. And that's it. That's the end of it. Because as soon as you do that, either you're going to prison or, you get railroaded by these judicial systems. I know personally that the judicial system is crooked, and they are not trying to say anything about remote neural monitoring or admit the existence of it or anything about it. And so they'll try to railroad you as some crazy person. And I know for a fact that a lot of judges and lawyers have neural monitoring. I know this for a fact. I know a lot of people have neural monitoring that don't use it to gang stalk, whether they use it for malicious things or some sort of unfair advantages or some sort of unfair suppression of others, then maybe, I don't know. But what I do know is how gang stalkers use it and how they use the broadcast capabilities, the satellite broadcast system of neurological broadcast frequencies, that I know how they use it to try to attack and torture, destroy, kill, torment, everything you can imagine. It's the most abusive thing I can imagine, having gone through it myself, like psychological, physical. It's a sick thing that they do, and their own mind control, and they love it. They love to receive the neurological processes of someone else, especially someone else that's smarter than them. And typically, if you got people doing stupid things, they're probably not smart people. And that doesn't stop them from getting neural monitoring. And it's not because they're world-class genius hackers. It's because somebody gave it to them and they're passing it around amongst their people. That's why these groups of people, they all end up with it. Not because they're all some kind of world-class hackers. Now, world-class hackers, politicians, millionaires and billionaires, of course they have it. Probably anybody in very important positions, somebody gives it to them and says, look, you can't have everybody on your neural monitoring. Here, let me show you how this works, And then I guess you're in the circle or you're out of the circle. It's what I've heard. So being in the circle, I don't know what that means, but it's a very difficult situation for me when I've been tortured for all these years and suppressed at so many levels, and it's cost me so much personally and financially and physically with my well-being, my relationships with other people, and my financial status, all of which have been greatly affected by being gang stalked with remote neural monitoring. And, it's like a form of mind control. And I'm not saying that I'm mind controlled, but I'm saying they love mind control. And I'm saying that easily people could be influenced by these other people that are connected to you in a neurological way. And mind control is a real thing. And they're not going to come out and say, hey, neural monitoring, yeah, it exists. Come file this thing and we'll figure out who's doing this to you and we'll solve it. No, that's not how it works. And that's not what they're going to do. And I understand the politics to some degree. Like, you can't just come out and say, yeah, there's neural monitoring. Been like that for 50 years. Everybody's on neurological mind control broadcast. Everybody's thoughts are not safe. Your thoughts are not safe, right? We can watch you take a shower. We can experience life as you by simply connecting to you through this broadcast and sitting there on mind control with a simple thing on our head and broadcast capabilities. We can experience life as you. We can know everything you're thinking, and when somebody malicious gets access to that technology and they want to use it against you, it can be crippling to your life. It can be debilitating. It gives them a hundredfold advantage. And if they want to destroy you, it's like you're fighting 100 people. And, you know, the governments and the police, whether they know, I know they know about it to some degree, at least on some levels, they know about it. Obviously, it's been around for a long time. And, but, you know, I don't think every basic police officer knows about it for sure, but they're not going to do anything about it. And these people that have it, gang stalkers that are using it against us as a weapon, at what point are we able to defend ourselves? At what point can we figure out, hey, who's doing this, and what can I do to stop them from doing this, since nobody else is going to stop them? Because they're hurting us. They're hurting us real bad, and they're having a huge negative impact on our life. Now, at this point, I think, you know, especially in my case, probably a lot of you guys, with any attention to the situation and any investigation, a lot of things could come to the light. But of course, like I said, I've filed 25 police reports locally, and then probably 10 or 15 more with all of the federal levels, and not even a callback, not once ever, not even a simple response, nothing. Nothing, no, like totally, completely ignored. And to the point where I started doing videos of, hey, here's my police report, and here I'm going to file this police report. And I kept using the same case numbers and stuff like that. And I have it all documented, and I've got copies of them from there, and I've got copies of some that aren't even in their system. Like, they just totally ignore you. And that leads to liability for them too, because you've tried and you've tried and you've tried. Now, just for example, okay, not saying I would do anything, but for example, say I was to go and find whoever is doing mind control broadcasts and physically stop them. Now, say the police come and arrest me. And, you know, if I could show that I've spent years and years trying to get the police to help me with real evidence, and I can show that all of my devices have been hacked for years, and then I can show to some degree a lot of broadcast stuff has been going on. Now, if I could show all of that, no, is that not going to lead to some kind of huge national case? Are they going to, you know, throw me in the middle of the ocean and say, hey, we don't know what happened to this guy? Is that what's going to happen? I mean, the question is, basically, it comes down to, is anybody going to help us, or do we have to help ourselves? So think about that.